Good morning, everybody. I didn't get home till late last night, so I ended up watching the third period, regretfully so, at like 12:30 in the morning. Just woke up about 20 minutes ago, took me a morning shower. Let's talk about this game last night. Um, so exactly what I thought would happen happened. We lost 5-1, but we out hit them. Cool, yay. Um, that sucked. The only good stat I got out of last night is this. The fact that we were winning faceoffs at a crazy clip, and it was noticeable. I think Goudreau took a handful of faceoffs last night. Yeah, he's 71% in the dot. Well, good for Heedle. Heedle was 75, Zibanejad 62. Even Rooney was winning a lot of faceoffs last night. Wow. So the Capitals really suck at faceoffs, so we've gotten a lot better. There's a lot. There's a lot to talk about last night. Question is, where do we begin? Now, I'll just go over the individual playoff stats. So dashes, Rooney, Stromer had an assist. Kreider had a goal. That was nice. Goudreau dash. Kako dash 2. Blay had 6 pims. I did not like that. Nemeth dash 2. Tenorti and Miller dash 1 each. Georgiev didn't play. All those goals weren't his fault. I'd say 3 of them maybe were his fault. 2 or 3 of them were his fault. I think the numbers came out this morning. He was a negative 2.75 or 2.74 goals against expected or something like that, which is miserable. So this is what I understand. So clearly Cjethsyt is your starter, but you don't want to play him in back-to-back games. But you want to make the playoffs. I'm trying to figure out why, if your ultimate goal is to make the playoffs and win, why for the season opener, despite it being back-to-back, why you wouldn't start your guy. Because Georgiev is not the guy. He's like the opposite of the guy. One, he's being paid less than half of what the guy is making. So you're paying the guy to do a damn starting job, and you're not giving him the starting job. And 2, he's not half the goalie that Cjethsyt is. So why is he starting? I don't give a rat's ass about he needs to be rested. If you asked Igor Cjethsyt, like, hey, do you feel like you need to be rested tonight so you can play tomorrow? Oh, yeah. No. Cjethsyt doesn't say, oh, yeah, please, I could use the rest. The season just fucking started, number 1. Number 2, the guy wants to play. So I don't understand this whole he needs rest thing. He's your starting goaltender. This is the team that would play Lundqvist 70 times a year. And you're playing against a team that you're going to be at some point fighting for a playoff spot with. So why do you start your backup for the first game of the season? But this is what gets me, right? So apparently this isn't a Gallant decision. This is maybe it is a Gallant decision. But he said from the start of the year, Gallant was saying in all his interviews that this is a Benoit Allaire decision. Well, listen, Allaire, you're a great goaltending coach. But no more game time decisions. No more game decisions for this guy. Let him be a goalie coach because he's good at developing goalies. Other than that, if it was his call to start Georgiev over Cjethsyt tonight, that's strikes 1, 2, and 3 because we're already a game down. All right, but let's not pin that entire game on Georgiev. Let's just acknowledge that he sucks. I think the Rangers' expected goals for was like 4 point something. I know not many people like these fancy stats, but it's interesting to go over these sometimes. So you got to give Vanacek credit. Vanacek played a freaking great game last night. I mean, I could think of 2 or 3 times where he absolutely just fucking robbed us. Kako on the doorstep, a couple attempts in the power play. He was all over the ice and he played really well. You got to give the goalie credit where credit's due. So puck movement in the offensive zone was not bad at all. Honestly, I thought the puck movement in the offensive zone looked better in that one game than it did all of last year because the players looked a little bit more loose. They looked more comfortable. And that's another big thing I really noticed, especially with Heedle and Kako. They looked very, 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 very comfortable to try to make plays. They didn't look like they were afraid of getting benched. They didn't look like they were afraid of getting yelled at. I was actually pretty happy with our zone entries, right? I was happy with the way the players were able to carry the puck into the zone, not think about, oh, we got to chip it in, or, oh, we can't put it on our backhands because Quinny's going to yell at us, right? Like, the carrying the puck in the zone was awesome. The players looked comfortable. it didn't work out because the goalie was hot last night. I mean, Vanacek really played off his ass. Um, Things I didn't like was I didn't like the breakout. We looked so slow on our breakouts. Like our breakouts were usually a one or two man show, and breakouts are supposed to start with your defenseman. I feel like a lot of the times, especially if Adam Fox wasn't on the ice, we had guys like Trouba or Tenorti or Nemeth trying to carry the puck out of the zone, and it usually ended in a dump and chase, or it usually ended in the puck not getting out of the zone. Period. So, and this is another thing I don't understand. If you're putting Tenorti in the lineup because you're expecting a bloodbath, but you don't do anything to initiate that bloodbath, it's almost like you're putting in an extra line of defense that's not even required because you got a bunch of tough guys in there anyways. Like, I don't understand the point of putting him in there unless you put him in there to start something and do something. Because, Tenorti had a couple big hits last night, and I'm not even saying Tenorti played a bad game. He didn't play well, but he didn't play horrible. I can think of one or two really bad giveaways on the same play he had. But other than that, I'm not going to lie to you, Tenorti did surprise me a couple times with his ability to carry the puck because, he may look like he'd be like a Stonehands player, but he actually carried the puck well. His passes weren't great, but it was well enough. But what I don't understand is if you're going to put Tenorti in the lineup, I think it should be Nemeth that comes out. And this is because we need to be able to break the puck out of the zone, and Adam Fox is our really only right-handed defenseman that could do that because Jacob Trouba is he's not that great a passer. He's not that great a puck carrier. He's not that great at anything, to tell you the truth. And I don't even think Trouba had a bad game last night. We're gonna get into that in a minute, but I just don't think he was. I don't think he was great. So if you have Nils Lundkvist back there, you have another option that can make up for Nemeth's inability to distribute the puck. And I thought Nemeth had a pretty good game last night, but he's not a great tape-to-tape passer getting the puck out of the zone. And Nils Lundkvist could have made up for a lot of that. And I think having Lundkvist back there, who's actually pretty underrated defensively if what he did in the preseason is something that we could expect from him, the ability to take the puck away from players, number one. Number two, keep the puck away from players. And number three, get the puck out of the zone in a hurry, tape-to-tape passes, or just making the smart play, getting it over the defender's head so you can get a line change. And I think it's something that the Rangers missed out on a lot last night. And also you kind of missed Lundqvist's speed back there last night. The way he can get back, he can break up plays, he can make up for a lost step. Not many defensemen on this team can do that. Actually, I don't think any players on this team can do that defensively aside from Kyrou Miller. That's because Miller's so damn big and so fast that he's able to make up for a lost step. And I think him and Lundqvist might be the only two defensemen that can really do that. Let's talk about players individually because that's going to be something I'm going to get into eventually. I might as well just get over it right now. Panarin had a good game. I don't really think Panarin saw a whole lot of ice last night, and you saw that, but I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that the Rangers took 12 minutes in penalties last night, which is not a good look. Laffy, I don't think played a bad game, but he didn't really get a whole lot of ice time. Only 14 minutes was a little bit surprising. Spam risk. Yay. Anyways, I don't really think Laffy got a whole lot of time last night, but again, it's probably due to a lot of penalties. Stromer had 16 minutes. A lot of that is power play time. I don't think Strome had a bad game last night. Strome had a brutal first period, but his second and third period were fine. Struggled to get in the faceoff dot, but someone's got to go get negative, I guess. Rooney didn't play bad. Solid on the PK. I don't know. I feel like Rooney's such a misfit on that fourth line with Reeves and Hunt. I feel like he's such a misfit because he's not hitting and forechecking the way they are. He didn't play bad, and he did well in the faceoff dot. So I really can't complain about Rooney tonight. I just think he looks a lot out there. Kreider didn't play bad. I actually thought Kreider played well. Maybe tried too much sometimes. And when I say tried too much, I mean tried too much with his hands. Or I think Kreider's forte is chipping and chasing, and when you chip the puck around the fender, beat him with speed, and then beat him again with physicality. Sometimes he tries to get too involved in the play. He ends up fucking everything up. I think it was the first period. We were breaking the puck in the zone, and then he got right in front of Adam Fox, who was sticking with the puck. It caused a turnover, went the other way. That goalie score was beautiful, by the way. That deflection off of Strome's pass, that was fucking beautiful. And he played physical. Kreider played well. Kreider didn't play poorly last night. I thought Kreider was actually one of our better players last night, which is surprising because I usually rip him. It's just, the thing he could do better is stop trying too much with his hands and use more of his speed, physicality, and his shot. because if he tries too much off, with his hands, he's gonna cost us. Goudreau didn't play bad last night. He had that one bad penalty. I think the problem with Barclay Goudreau last night is we just played him too much. He took away from some of our other offensive options. I mean, the guy played, what did he play last night? He played 15 minutes. He played a minute and a half more than Laffy. He played 2.5 minutes more than Hedel. He played, well, I guess Blade took a lot of penalties last night, so it doesn't really matter. I thought Goudreau played too much last night, too many minutes. But and a lot of that is probably shorthanded time, but still. I think the Rangers right now are, and I warned about this when we signed him, but they're taking a guy who's a career very, 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 very good fourth liner, and they're paying him and treating him like he's going to be a third line scoring forward, and that's just not the case. So honestly, the third line last night when it was Hedel, Blake, Goudreau, it wasn't bad. I liked it. What's the best way to put this? I don't think Goudreau was necessarily slowing down that line. I just don't think that's Goudreau's tempo. Like, Goudreau last year was on a line with Johnny Gourde and Blake Coleman, right? What was it, that line? I think it was. I think it was Gourde and Coleman. So he's used to a little bit more speed, but maybe not that finesse that Blake and Hedel play with. Now, granted, Blake is pretty damn strong, too, and I love Blake's game last summer. To get to him in a minute. But I don't really think he's used to that kind of speed and skill that Hedel and Blake provide. That Coleman and Gourde, they have skill, but a lot of their goals were mucking down low, not setting up beautiful plays in the rush or stick handle and shit like that. So it's going to be a learning curve for Goudreau there, but I definitely think he's better fit for the fourth line. My most ideal fourth line after watching the game last night would be Hunt on the left, Goudreau in the middle, and Reeves on the right. I think that would be a beautiful fourth line, and you kind of push out Kevin Rooney. And man, if only we had a Russian right winger that we could call up to play with Hedel and fucking Blake, right? Man. Or Julien Gauthier, because Gauthier should be in the lineup tonight, but topic for later. I apologize, guys. Sorry, I had a very long last night. I only just woke up about a half hour ago now, right? Yeah, I woke up at like 9:15. Kakko, that was the best game I've ever seen Kakko play. He was stick handling like a maniac. He was getting his stick in the passing lanes for the most part. I definitely don't think we'll be seeing Kakko again on the penalty kill, and I don't think we should. He just needs a little bit more seasoning there. They pointed it out on the TNT broadcast on the Capitals' first goal. That cross-ice pass to Ovechkin that led to a goal from... Was it Oshie on the line? I don't know who the hell it was, but Trouba's stick was in the lane, but Kakko's stick wasn't in the lane. That's just a guy that's not experienced on the penalty kill, just someone that needs to learn a little bit more and get more experience on there. I'm not a big fan of the Kakko penalty killing experiment. I understand it gets him more ice time, but I don't really think Kakko is that kind of player. I don't really think he's that two-way guy that belongs on the penalty kill. I think Kakko right now is developing more into a highly skilled power forward, almost Rick Nash type, but a lot faster than Rick Nash. Well, actually, I don't know. It's weird. I don't want to put labels on him. I'm going to let Capo Kakko be Capo Kakko, but last night I saw comparisons to seriously like a fucking Rick Nash type who, before he came to the Rangers, before he got his concussions, bullied his way in the corners, was able to stick handle out of anything in the corners, had a monster shot, and had great hands. That's what I noticed out of Capo Kakko last night, and I hope that trend continues. It's just defensively, I don't really know if he's that reliable yet. He's still a young player, so I don't really think he should be on the penalty kill right now. At least that's my opinion. Dryden Hunt, I thought played really well last night. I don't think Dryden Hunt did anything bad last night. I actually think he drove a little bit of offense through his forechecking. I think the problem is, Hunt on that fourth line, Rooney and Reeves are not driving offense. So when Dryden Hunt's your best offensive player on the line, you're probably not going to get very much offense. Now, with that being said, I think Rooney, Reeves, and Hunt, and this goes for all three of them on that line, I don't really think they were a liability when they were out there. I actually thought defensively they weren't that bad either. I don't think they were a net negative, which is kind of what I was expecting them to be, and they weren't. So I was actually pretty happy with the way that line played last night. Hunt, 9 minutes, 45 seconds ice time, that's perfect. He played a great game, was great at forecheck, and actually back-checked pretty hard, a couple of big hits. I don't mind Dryden Hunt's game last night. If I'm changing anything tomorrow, I need Gauthier into that lineup. The question is who comes out. It's probably going to be Hunt that gets knocked out, and I hope it's Goudreau that goes to the fourth line, but it's most likely Blake, which it shouldn't be. and Gocho goes in that third line. But if I'm making the line tomorrow, and again, this is not a knock on the way Rooney played last night because he wasn't bad last night. If I'm changing the lineup tonight, I have Gauthier on the fourth line, Gauthier on the third line. I'm knocking Goudreau down to the fourth line in the center spot and taking Rooney out of the lineup. And again, it's not a knock on the way Rooney played last night. Just right now, I think we should be trying different things, and that would be the first thing I tried. The extra skill of Gauthier, I think, would make a big difference tonight. And I think it would have made a pretty big difference last night. That extra little scoring helps someone that could really drive offense. Hito played a great game last night, but we didn't get to see very much of him. Only 13 minutes of ice time. Again, I think a lot of that has to do with the penalties we took last night. 12 minutes of penalties. I mean, that's over 1/6 of the entire game. We're fucking shorthanded, which is not good. Not good. But regardless, I thought Hito played a really good game. 2 shots on goal. I thought he stick handled well. I thought he passed well. I thought he did everything well last night. I didn't see him as a liability or anything. He looked comfortable. Revo had a really good game. 5 hits. He didn't take a single penalty last night. So that's the perfect game out of Ryan Reeves, right? He gets you 5 hits. He forechecks well. You could tell, and I can't believe I cannot believe I'm admitting this, but you could tell that after that first period, the Capitals defenseman did look a little bit weary when the puck was in the corner, and they were a little bit slow to the corner. They looked weary in the corner, and it caused a bunch of turnovers. So, to credit of Reeves and some of those physicality lovers, it did make a bit of a difference last night. I'll 100% acknowledge that. It just sucks that there's not really much else the fourth line could do except kind of set the tone kind of deal. Like, they don't really. They're going to create offense at some point, but they're not going to create insane amounts of offense. But if that tone setting they're doing, I can't believe I'm using that word. If that tone setting they're using kind of overflows to the first, second, and third line, and that creates offense for them, it could be a pretty big deal. I don't mind the game the fourth line played last night. I really don't. I thought they played really well. The forechecking was awesome. They were not by any means a liability on defense. I thought they played well. Sammy Blake, I thought, had a really good game. He just took 3 penalties, and that sucks to see because it takes away from how well he played. I think one thing that people really miss on Sammy Blake is how freaking good his hands and his shot are. There were a few times, I think one I remember specifically in the third period, where there was like 3 Capitals around him. He actually ended up stick handling out of trouble and got a shot out of it. I don't think it was a shot on goal, but man, Sammy Blake is going to be fun to watch this year. He's got to be careful with the penalty, though. I mean, 3 penalties that's just not good. But I actually thought he played pretty well last night. A couple really big hits, a couple big blocks. I thought he had a takeaway or 2 last night, but I guess I didn't credit him with one. But I thought Blay, all things considered, played well last night. He's just got to monitor his penalties because taking 3 penalties in a night, whether they were bad calls or not, whether they were iffy calls, this, that, the other thing, 3 penalties. You've got to be careful. Zibanejad, I thought, played well. Well enough, at least. It's just nothing really you could do. I mean, the puck was not going in last night. I thought he skated well. I thought he set up a couple nice plays, but when the puck's not going in, the puck's not going in. You got to give the other goalie credit where credit's due. Let's see. Tenorti, I already kind of spoke on Tenorti. I don't think he played bad. I don't think he played good. I think he was maybe slightly more net negative than anything. It's just you can't have Adam Fox, your only guy that could pass it out of the zone, and I think we kind of noticed that last night. I mean, and it's nothing against Lindgren, nothing against Miller, Nemeth, Trubert, nothing against any of them. It's just you need another guy that could fucking pass the puck out of the zone, hit the tape, and get the puck moving. I don't know. I thought Tenorti did as expected. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Trouba, I don't know. Trouba didn't do bad. He didn't do good. He didn't disappoint, but he didn't make me feel good about him either. Trouba's such a weird player sometimes. For a guy that fucking sometimes skates the puck up so fast, he's the slowest back checker and slowest back skating defenseman I think I've ever seen in my life. I don't know. He made that really great play on defense where he sprawled out and he saved a goal by putting his stick out and stopping that puck, but I don't know. Sometimes it's really weird watching Trouba play. He shows flashes of a guy that really could be a number 1 defenseman, and then how is this guy making $8 million? How is this guy making $8 million, let alone 4 or 5? It's very weird watching Trouba play. It's almost like he can't decide what kind of defenseman he wants to be, because sometimes he's really offensive and he actually looks pretty good, and then he's like, oh well, this is a shutdown guy, but he really can't shut anybody down because he's so damn slow sometimes. I don't know. I thought Trevor was a net pos last night, but not by much. It was just it's so weird watching him because for every good play he makes a bad play. So I don't know. He played well enough. I'll leave it at that. Nemeth, he didn't play bad. He didn't play good. He didn't play bad. He kind of did what you expected of him. I mean, a dash two. I think he was a minus on the fourth and fifth goal. So I mean, what really can you do there? Oh no, he was a minus on the third and fifth. Was he? I don't even freaking remember. What the hell do I know? Either way, he wasn't bad. Fox is Adam Fox. I mean, I don't really think Fox had a bad moment last night, so played a great game. And I know after the way I talk about everyone, I just kiss Adam Fox's ass. I mean, how do you not? I mean, what Adam Fox didn't do a damn thing wrong last night. Lindgren, I actually thought Lindgren was a little bit slow last night, but I think overall he was a net positive. He played a well-rounded game. I mean, not really much else he could do last night. I mean, his job is to kind of stay back and support down low in the corners where Adam Fox might not be as proficient as he is. And Miller, I don't think Miller played bad last night. So Miller last night was more unnoticeable than anything, which is actually a good thing. You would rather your because I think Miller is developing more into a shutdown defenseman, and I'm totally fine with that. We don't need Miller to put up 30, 40 points a season. If Miller puts up 15 to 25 points a season, and it is just a really solid defenseman, a shutdown guy, and that's exactly what the Rangers needed. Because the Rangers haven't had a shutdown defenseman that absolutely wheels, I don't think, ever. So I think by Keandre Miller not sticking out last night is a good thing. Because he didn't make any glaring mistakes. He was strong defensively. He's always back on the back check. He can make a 2-on-1, a 2-on-2 really quickly because of how well he skates. He works well in the corners. The only thing Keandre Miller really needs to work on is helping get the puck out of the zone. I think sometimes he relies too much on fluttering backhands out of the zone, and he gets caught. But I don't know. I thought Miller played really well last night. Well enough to the point where you didn't notice him. And as a defensive defenseman, you really can't ask for more than that. Some of Dan Girardi's best games, you never noticed them. It was maybe a block or maybe a hit, but that was about it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, overall, it sucks. We lost last night. Exactly what I thought was going to happen. We out-hit them and we lose by 4 goals. Again, I think a lot of it goes to Vanacek playing really well. But even more so goes to the fact that we gave up 3 power play goals last night. So you take away the 12 minutes of penalties we took and the Capitals' 3 power play goals. It's a 2-1 game, and who knows what happens in that 12 minutes where we're not shorthanded. I mean, you just never know because the Raiders might have had 24 shots and got robbed a lot last night, but it's not like we had sustained flurries of chances. I feel like a lot of last night was, we had chances, we played well, and we developed a little bit of offense in the zone. But it's not like we had sustained pressure for more than 10 seconds. That wasn't on the power play, at least. So with a lot of one-off chances, I think we need to turn those one-off chances into setups in the offensive zone where we're getting flurries of chances. Because I think if the Rangers are not going to be able to score off the rush, kind of like we couldn't last night, then we're going to be relying heavily on being able to we're going to need to be able to rely on constant, in-your-face pressure. Just go, go, go. Now, as for tonight, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the exact same lineup we got tonight. God damn it. Whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if we got the exact same lineup that we got tonight. I hope we don't, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did. What the fuck, man? I wouldn't be surprised if we got it. I don't want it though, to tell you the truth. I think if we're going into tonight, and if we learned from mistakes from last night, that we need to look something like, I think something like that would be nice to start with, right? So Goudreau showed you last night that he can win phase. I'm already forgetting what he hit. It was like 72 in the dot. That's really good. Go away, green lines. You know what? I'm fucking over it. So stupid sometimes. Either way, it's green now. Okay, it's green. Perfect. We're playing the Stars, so it's green. All right. Where did all that extra cap space come from? There's no cushion here. Okay. So, my ideal lineup tonight would look something like this, right? So, you got Blay. Blay's your forechecker. He's fast. You combine that with the skill and size of Gauthier and Hito, which, by the way, that's a pretty heavy line right there. I mean, that's combined over 600 something pounds and probably an average height of 6'2" right here. It's not a bad thing, right? That's a big line and a lot of skill and a lot of speed. That would be a line I'd love to see, especially if Kravtsov's not around. Why not give Gauthier a chance on that third line and let Barclay Goudreau play the fourth line in the center spot? Because Goudreau actually might be able to help out that fourth line, create a little bit more offense, a little bit more stability down there. And yeah, I don't think you touch the top two lines. I don't think those lines played poorly. I think this is what we should see tonight. I think realistically, what we do see is probably this. And I really hope this isn't the case, and I hope I'm wrong, but it's probably what we're going to see. And that really sucks. That's not what I want to see, but it's probably what you're going to see. I think Dryden Hunt played well enough last night where you're not going to really see him come out of the lineup. But I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this lineup I put together right here? Do you think that's a net positive or net negative from what we saw last night? Because I honestly think that's better than it's better lineup than what we saw last night. And I think it's worth trying Goudreau in the fourth line as a center. Because I don't think forcing him into a third line role is the way to go. Especially against a team that's going to be high scoring like the Dallas Stars are. They've got Tyler Seguin back now. You know the Dallas Stars are going to be trying to create as much offense as they possibly can because that's what they excel at. Let's take a look at the Dallas Stars real quick because, offensively, they're a jacked team. Like Radulov, Pavelski, Ben, Seguin, Rupe, Hintz, Gurianov. They just got Glendening, so there's a big face-off taker right there. Rooney's not winning face-offs against Luke Glendening. I hate to break it to you. Jason Robertson, Kiviranta. I don't know they got Michael Raffle. Raffle's not that good anymore. Then on defense, Haskin and Klingberg. Like, this is going to be a high-scoring team we're playing against tonight. So I think you match speed with speed. You make sure Gauthier's in the damn lineup to try to negate some of their speed, and you just get going. That's my opinion of what should happen tonight. Will it happen? I honestly have no idea, but well, I just have to wait and see. That's my take for tonight. What do you guys think on my takes for both last night's game and what we should expect to see in tonight's game? You guys let me know in the comments down below. Thank everybody for watching. Hope you're watching. Start making it. And if you're thinking of setting any hearing aids, I'm going to go eat breakfast. I'll see you all in the next one. Comment down below your thoughts. Can't wait to hear from you. Peace.